ladies and gents, we are back into part 4 of the of my complete power set for the original Xbox. You might be able to see over my right shoulder just where we are through the collection. We're about halfway in, so it's probably a few more parts to go, but hopefully you're enjoying this. Don't forget to subscribe to follow along for the further episodes in this series. Alright, let's get going and rip off the next lot of games so you guys can have a look at. Alright, we're going to kick this set off with Midtown Madness 3. This was a pretty fun game. The Midway Arcade Treasures. There were a lot of these multi-arcade games released for the Xbox. So there's like another one down here, Namco Museum. Mike Tyson, heavyweight boxing. It's kind of funny, it was a day or two ago, I think it was just announced that the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight was announced. Mildly unpopular opinion, but I reckon Jake Paul might have actually a chance of winning, as much as everyone would probably like to see Mike Tyson flatten someone. But Mike Tyson's getting on. It's definitely not in his heyday anymore, but I still wouldn't like to be fucking punched by him, that is for sure. But yeah, I reckon Jake Paul might have it. The MX games here. So this is kind of like the, I wouldn't say period correct, but just things of the time. So you had like your Matt Hoffman, your Kelly Slater, your Tony Hawk type of games. With the MX games, there were, I think, 2 big motocross riders of that particular time period. So there was Ricky Carmichael, I think he was a United States rider, and then you had Chad Reed, and he was the Australian rider. So saying that, this is the Australian cover variant for MX Unleashed, and we got our own Chad Reed cover variant. So there is a UK variant to this game, and what's the manual got? So yeah, it's just interesting that there was they kind of changed things up for the particular domestic market that the game is being released for. Stack of NBA games. So these NBA 2K games, so this is where you could potentially put those ESPN games. So you'd have, so you've got NBA 2K3, then people would put like the ESPN 2K4, 2K5, then you'd have 2K6, 2K7. But I go off what's on the spine, so I keep all the ESPN games together. Kind of looks neat and it's not overly confusing. So we had the 2K games, now we've got Inside Drive, NBA Jam, then into the NBA Live games. So yeah, there was a stack of different sport variation games. This was NBA, NFL, NHL, which you guys will soon see very shortly. But there we are. That's the first lot of games for episode 4. Alright, then there was a couple of NBA games just to finish out that series. So you got the NBA Street games. Into Need for Speed. Yes, I'm aware that these are not in chronological order for as far as game release goes. I put them in alphabetical order. Absolutely love Need for Speed Most Wanted. I finished it on PlayStation 2 on PC, and I'm getting pretty close to now finishing it on Xbox as well. Love playing that game. So we're into all the NFL games now. So we did all the NBA, we're into NFL, and shortly we'll be into NHL. Here we go. So there were such a variety of different publishers doing sports games. So you can kind of see why some of these may have died out a little bit. NHL. Some of these NHL hits games can be tricky to find. Typically they're not going to cost you a whole lot, but just can be a bit tricky to get a hold of. Nightcaster 2, that's probably one of the, it's definitely a pricier game for on the PAL set. Obscure, there is a cool lenticular version of this game. I can't remember where it was released. It was over EU way, I can't remember where specifically, but it's a pretty rare one to get a hold of. Not that I actually have the lenticular version, but that version is hard to get. Operation Winback, yeah, just another randomly expensive game, and same with Otogi 2. Alright, that's the next lot down. Into the Outlaw games. The PAL set didn't receive the I think it was the special edition of the 9 holes of Xmas or edition that NTSC got. Just got the basic vanilla games, no special editions here for PAL. Outrun 2006, really fun game. You can tell if someone's potentially recased the game because it won't have the official product Ferrari sticker on there. So if you are buying a copy of that game, just you might be able to bargain a little bit potentially if it doesn't have that sticker on there. Alright. Don't think there's anything particularly uncommon or hard to get a hold of here. Is it this one that's the... No, I think I might be thinking of, I can't remember if it's this one or Sid Meier's, how do you pronounce it, the pirate game. It's kind of like a pirate RPG, that's pretty good. I can't remember which one it was, sorry, but that one or the Sid Meier was apparently a decent play. Prince of Persia games. I think all 3 of these got their own classics release, so pretty popular for the system. Pro Beach Soccer is one of those titles that quite a few people end up being one of the last games that they need to track down for their complete PAL set. Again, not an expensive game, just weirdly uncommon. That one's a little bit difficult to get as well. Project Gotham Racing. Yeah, another one of those more expensive titles for the game, for the system, sorry. Where I say expensive, I'm talking like stuff that's starting to exceed that $100 barrier. $100 Australian, that is. Alright. Next lot of games, eh? Alright, kicking this lot off with the only Q titled game for the set, Quantum Redshift. So, Rally Sport. Some half decent rally games for the system too. Been making my way through those. Reservoir Dogs, another movie-based game. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Played that through on the PS2 as a kid. That was really good fun. So Ricky Ponting, so obviously the UK version with Brian Lara. So you don't need to have both for the complete set. One or the other is fine. They're just different games based on the region. Rocky games. There are a couple of special edition big box packs that the Rocky games came with, which are pretty difficult to get a hold of. Got the Roger Lemire series of games here. So this is the equivalent to LMA Manager 2003 through to 2006 for France, I think it was. So had to get a few games from a mate in France, so I thought I'd pick up the French versions of the game. On to one of the big bangers for the set, Room Zoom. So a couple of copies of this have actually recently changed hands. So these are now going for, in again, good, complete condition, in excess of £400. So that'd be not quite $800 Australian, because the exchange rate's almost bloody 2 to 1 at this point. So yeah, this and Shaolin are sitting about, I'd say, price parity at the moment, with about, I think about £400 to £450. So yeah, they've come up quite a substantial amount in price. Likewise, this was like absolute dog shit game to play. Like, it is terrible. So on NTSC, it's a fairly common cheap game, but for PAL, there was I think it was a late release. I think that's why it's a bit sought after and rare. All right, let's get the next set of games out. All right, kicking this one off with the Rugby League games. So this is one of the other New Zealand cover variants, Stacey Jones Rugby League. I think he recently actually took up the coaching role for the New Zealand Warriors, actually. Then we've got the Australian NRL Rugby League cover. Then we have the UK Super Rugby League cover there. So there's those. And then got Rugby League 2. However, we only get the Australian and the UK cover variants this time around. Alright. Don't think there's anything of anything particular noteworthy here to chat about. Looking forward to the next Sonic movie to release. I think Jim Carrey's coming back, so that'd be kind of pretty cool. Play Dr. Robotnik. Alright, and then that'll wrap up this last little bit here for what are we at? Episode 4. And that's going to wrap up episode 4. If you've been liking the content, remember to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, notifications, all that good fun stuff. I mean, don't have to if you don't want to. If you're enjoying the content and you want to see more of it and you want to be notified when it comes out, then you do you. Otherwise, we're going to leave it here for this episode. I think we've probably got 2, maybe 3 more to go in the series, I reckon. Yeah, I was having a quick chat about potentially doing all the PAL exclusives. So I'll probably either do that in its own episode as part of the series as well, I think. So yeah, not too many more to go now. Only got a few more shells. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty much 5 more to go. It's about another 200 and 250 games. So be done pretty shortly. But stay tuned. Till next time, you legends. See you around.